Good morning. Show me your best dance moves, everyone. You're worth more than gold. Does anybody know this song? Just remember, you are worth more than gold. And you should get excited because today is another day with geometry. I absolutely love these standards because they have to do with real world stuff. That even if you're home or walking in the park, you can really think about the standards that you're working on with each fourth grade teacher. So let's get started. Today, the standard that we're covering, it's talking about classifying two-dimensional figures. Now, if you don't know that vocabulary word, don't worry, the next slide we're going to talk about it. And how you're going to classify those by recognizing if the figures have or do not have parallel or perpendicular lines. Those are vocabulary words that you worked on with Miss White, but we're going to review them just to make sure you're ready to go for this week's lessons. Now, learning targets, these are things that we want you to be able to do by the end of this week. So when you are watching this video or doing the practice or talking to your teacher about the practice, have these in mind. You want to be able to describe parallel and perpendicular lines. Everything we're doing with our shapes has to do with parallel, perpendicular lines if they have them there or if they do not. Classifying two-dimensional shapes using parallel or perpendicular segments, that's what we just talked about, and classifying shapes by their angles, right angles or non-right angles. And that's what Miss Bramlett's going to get to talk to y'all about as you continue on with your lessons this week. So what are two-dimensional figures? Two-dimensional figures, as you can see here, it's having only two dimensions, such as width and height, but no thickness. If you think about your year at Calhoun, you had STEM Lab, and they have a 3D printer. If you want to make a keychain or just anything that y'all had done in class, you could take it out and it's like a toy, right? That's three-dimensional. Now, this standard is talking about two-dimensional figures, such as right here, see that? Squares, circles, triangles, those are all two-dimensional objects, also known as 2D. Now, in the past, I would click this video and we would watch it together, but I have so much I want to teach you that on your own, I'm going to have this slide up and you can watch that video to help you and learn a couple more vocabulary words. So let's get started with the vocabulary that you learned with Miss White. The first word is parallel lines. These vocabulary words are imperative. You must know them in order to be able to do the tasks this week. So parallel lines are two lines that will never intersect because they are the same distance apart. So for example, right here, you see line AB is parallel to line CD. Do you see that right here? And this is how you're in fourth grade now. So you need to use these words that mathematicians would use. Each year that you've grown from kindergarten now to fourth grade, we amp up your vocabulary so that you're able to use it going forward. I have a seventh grade neighbor, and he's actually working on these standards. I got to talk to him about it, and I said, wait, I'm teaching that to my fourth graders. So this is setting the foundation for your middle school years. The parallel lines are lines that will not meet. Now, perpendicular lines are different. These are lines that intersect at a right angle. And just because you don't have a protractor at your house, the way you can check a right angle, any sheet of paper that has an edge. So for example, even I have a textbook right here, and even this edge right here, see that? That can be used to check and see, is it a right angle? Or if it's a little larger, it's obtuse. And if it's a little smaller than that piece of paper, that edge, then it would be acute. But lines that intersect at a right angle are considered perpendicular lines. So for example here, line JK is perpendicular to line LM. So that's all review from last week with Miss White. So let's get to some new vocabulary. You should get excited. Now, y'all have been working on shapes since you were able to grab things. Since you were my daughter's age, she's about to be 9 months and she's looking at shapes. So you have seen these shapes, but now we are putting vocabulary words and we are amping up our 4th grade vocabulary. Now, a word that you'll see used as you go is congruent. Okay, geometric figures having the same size and shape. All corresponding parts of congruent figures have the same measures. So congruent means the same. So if I say that 2 lines are congruent, that means they are the same. Okay, now these are the vocabulary words that we're going to talk about over and over again. I'm going to start with quadrilateral, a polygon with 4 sides. So if it has 4 sides, it is a quadrilateral. Okay, now next one I'm going to look at is a parallelogram. A parallelogram is a quadrilateral with both pairs of opposite sides parallel. So these sides are parallel right here, and these sides are parallel. So opposite sides parallel. Another vocabulary word is a square. You didn't know that a square could be a vocabulary word, right? A square is a regular quadrilateral that have all sides and angles congruent. So all sides and angles are congruent. And you see right here, that little box tells me that that is a perpendicular. Those are perpendicular lines, and they have 4, right here, 90-degree angles. Now, a rectangle is a quadrilateral in which all the angles have the same measure, 90 degrees, and they have opposite sides that are congruent. A rhombus is a quadrilateral in which all sides have the same length. And last but definitely not least is a trapezoid. A trapezoid is a quadrilateral with at least one set of parallel lines. So if any shape, a quadrilateral shape, has one set of parallel lines, that means it is considered a trapezoid. Mind blown, right? So these are vocabulary words that we're going to keep working on as we go, but I wanted to set the foundation early. As you can see, all of these right here, they're called parallelograms, but right here it's called a quadrilateral. It can be confusing at times that they have multiple names, but just think about yourself. You might be considered a brother or a sister, but you could also be a cousin at the same time, right? Or you could be a daughter or a son at the same time. That's what these shapes are doing. They can have multiple names. Just like I can be Miss Holly to y'all, I can be Jen to my friends, and I can be Mom to Julia. So think about that as we keep going, because all of these shapes can have multiple names. All right, let's practice. So we're going to use this word bank and we're going to just do it together. This is what we would do in class. You would pause this video, so I want to encourage you to do that. And then we're going to talk about how each of these shapes has specific names. So looking here, we're going to use this word bank. Now, I am using my knowledge of what Miss Holly just said. I see that this has one set of parallel lines. Do you see that? That means, now I have to get my tool. I'm going to get my pen. That means that this is considered a trapezoid. I'm going to put T because I can't type that well. All right, now next. I'm looking at this shape, and Miss Holly said that it has one set of parallel lines. And you see these arrows? That means it's the second set of parallel lines. Pause and think. What would be the best answer for this problem? You guessed it, a parallelogram. Perfect. Now, the next shape, all sides are congruent. What would that be? Pause and think. So back to the square. I hope you paused and thought about it. Well, I just told you the answer. It's a square. How funny. Because it has all sides that are congruent and it has all right angles. Now, the last one, do you see it has 90-degree angles? However, opposite sides are congruent. So that means that it is a rectangle. You guessed it. All right, so it has some questions. I'm not going to write these out, but we're going to talk through them. It says, explain the attribute that makes a square a special rectangle. Remember how we talked about they can have different names but mean the same thing? That's what we're going to talk about here. Now think, explain the attribute that makes a square a special rectangle. Okay, so a square is a special rectangle because each of its sides are the same length. Did y'all know that? Instead of just opposite sides being the same length, like in a rectangle. So a square, like a rectangle, has 4 right angles. So that's the explanation for that. Now, last one right here, it says explain the attributes that makes a rectangle a special parallelogram. All right, pause the video, talk with someone near you, and think about it. Are you ready? A rectangle is a special parallelogram because it has 4 right angles. All right. Awesome job, guys. Now we're moving on. Are you ready? We're playing a quick game. So if you can, grab a sheet of paper and a pencil and act like you're in school. If you have a whiteboard set up, grab that too. So what we're going to do is we're going to practice if you understand all of those vocabulary words. Now it's going to be quick because this lesson is ending soon. So the game is called Ready, Set, Show. Now what's going to happen is you are going to get a sheet of paper ready. And the question's going to be on the board. So it says, what does quad mean? Now work out the problem on your sheet of paper. You're going to write it down or whatever you'd like. And you could put your hands in the air when I say, are you ready? Anything like that. So if you can answer it the fastest, or if you can answer it faster than me, let's see. Ready? Show off your answer. See if you can get it. The answer was 4. So ready? You get ready? Set, you're solving it. And then go. Your hands are up. Did you beat me? All right, here we go. If quad means 4, how many sides does a quadrilateral have? Are you ready? Set. Do you have it written down? 4. You should have gotten that one. I just said that. So do you have the kind of name of the game? Act like you're in school. See if you can do it quicker than I can give you the answer. So draw a quadrilateral. Let's see if you remember what a quadrilateral is. Hands up. Did you beat me? Now, you could have had a lot of different examples. These are all quadrilaterals. See how there's different shapes. However, the difference is what they all have in common, not the difference. What they all have in common is they have 4 sides. Quadrilaterals have 4 sides. All right, here we go. Ready? Name this quadrilateral. The cool thing about this part is it gives you a hint. So say you're not finished yet. Are you writing? Am I going to beat you? Hands up. It's a parallelogram because it has 2 sets of parallel sides. Remember how we said you're going to classify using parallel or perpendicular? You're doing it. All right, get ready. Name this quadrilateral. As you can see, all sides are the same. There's the hint. A rhombus! All 4 sides are equal in length. However, you see that there are not right angles in here, so it's considered a rhombus. All right, name this quadrilateral. This one's a toughie. Ooh, the hint helps it out a little bit. Trapezoid. The reason is it only has 1 set of parallel lines. If you see on the edges or on the sides, 1 set is eventually going to touch. Okay? Name this quadrilateral. Here's your hint. Are you writing it down? Are you beating me? Square. Because it has 4 equal sides and 4 right angles. Name this quadrilateral. Here's your hint. I'm getting a little quicker. Hopefully you're writing a little faster. Yes, a rectangle. It has opposite sides of equal lengths and 4 right angles. Amazing job. Okay, so our time together is almost over. So I want to explain what you're going to see in your task today. I'm not going to do it, but I wanted to explain it. So right here, these are properties of quadrilaterals. So it has right angles, has exactly one right angle, has exactly two right angles, has exactly four right angles. So you see these shapes over here. You're going to have this one, but you're also going to have a different one with different properties that you might use to classify shapes. So for example, this, I'm going to click, I can't click it, I'm sorry. So I'm going to click this one right here. This I know has four right angles and equal sides. So that's definitely a square. So I'm going to put that in the has exactly four right angle category. So there should not be any shapes left over right here. They should all find a home. And you'll have more of these on your tasks. Okay, last but not least, ask the question. It says, which shape below has parallel lines but no perpendicular lines? If you don't remember what those words are, go back real quick to the slides or go back in the video and see. This is going to be our ticket out the door. So pause me right now and see if you can solve it. Are you ready? So which shape below has parallel lines but no perpendicular lines? Now, how I would think is, okay, I'm going to start here. This is a triangle. Does it have parallel lines? Nope. Does it have perpendicular lines? No, but it also doesn't have parallel lines. Now, let's look at D. Does it have parallel lines? Yes. But does it have no perpendicular lines? No. Let's look over here. Does it have parallel lines? Yes. But does it have no perpendicular lines? No. Perpendicular, making that right angle. So my answer is A. Is that what y'all got? Yay! I'm so proud of you. All right. Now, before we go, I want to make sure that you know that you are worth more than gold. My class, when they used to leave the classroom, I would say, you're worth more than, and they would scream gold. So I hope you're screaming that you are worth more than gold. And I'm so proud of you for watching this video, and I know you are going to rock the task. See y'all soon.